So, Bacho, we were talking about like a number of particles in the last class, and we know that if we want to find out number of particles, so that's very easy for us to find out. We can simply find out by multiplying moles with Avogadro constant, right, Bacho, or not?
Right.
We did a lot of practice in the yesterday's class, and now we are moving towards something like ions. In today's class, we are going to find out the number of ions, right, बच्चों? आज की क्लास में हम find out करेंगे number of ions. Okay, so for example, if I have 5 moles of sodium hydroxide, बच्चों, for example, if I have 5 moles of sodium hydroxide, so what does it means? It means that we have, if I find out number of sodium hydroxide molecules in a compound, so it will be definitely sodium hydroxide is not a molecule, but I'm considering molecule like 1 NaOH, right? For example, if I consider this, so it will be moles into Avogadro constant. So it will be 5 into 6.02 10 raised to the power 23 number of particles, and we know that we have 3.01 10 raised to the power 24 number of sodium hydroxide molecules. For example, बच्चों, अगर आपके पास 5 मोल सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के हों, तो उसके अंदर NaOH के जो मॉलिक्यूल्स होंगे ना, यानी एक NaOH को अगर आप कंसीडर करते हो, तो इस तरह के तकरीबन 3.01 10 raised to the power 24 NaOH मॉलिक्यूल्स आपके पास होंगे. एंड इफ यू फोकस ओवर देयर NaOH मॉलिक्यूल पे अगर आप फोकस करें बच्चों, तो NaOH में एक Na आयन और एक हाइड्रोक्साइड आयन है. That means if you talk about the number of ions, so you have number of ions, you can see this, the same number of sodium ions over there in a compound, right? 5 moles में इतने sodium ions होंगे, and the same number of hydroxide ions over there as well, right, बच्चों? Is that right? If you talk about the total number of ions, बच्चों, so how many ions we have right now in NaOH? We have 2 ions, right? One positive and one negative. So if you want to find out the total number of ions, so it will be 6.02 10 raised to the power 24, right, बच्चों?
सर L क्या है?
सर जी बेटे, L आपके पास एवोगाड्रो कांस्टेंट है, 6.023 10 raised to the power 23, ठीक है?
सर हमने
जी बेटे बोले.
सर हमने नंबर ऑफ सोडियम आयंस और नंबर ऑफ OH आयंस को ऐड किया है.
जी ऐड किया हमने.
सर ये अगर हमने क्या कहते हैं NaOH के मॉलिक्यूल्स को डिवाइड किया, तो सर ये दोनों तो सर ये दोनों सेम कैसे हैं?
दोनों सेम इसलिए हैं because in a single NaOH you have one sodium ion and one hydroxide ion. That is why they are same.
Oh, सही. Okay sir, thank you.
सर फॉर एग्जांपल Na2OH होता तो हम Na की उस वैल्यू को 2 से मल्टीप्लाई कर देते हैं.
Yes, absolutely right. Yes, so the second example is same as what you are saying. Na2OH तो कोई चीज नहीं होती, but we can solve this for a different salt. For example, if we have 3 moles of what? If we have 3 moles of sodium sulfate, ये एक salt होता है, ठीक है ना? Sodium sulfate, right? So if you want to find out sodium ions over there, so you can find out we have moles into Avogadro constant. And if you want to find out sodium ions, so in each compound we have 2 sodium ions over there, so you can multiply with 2, right? So it will be 3 into 2 6 into 6.02 10 raised to the power 23, right, बच्चों? So it is 3.6 somewhere like 10 raised to the power 24 number of sodium ions. Is that right, बच्चों? And if you talk about number of sulfate ions, so it will remain same. Whatever the number of molecules you have, the same will be the number of sulfate ions. So it's only moles into constant value, and this each compound have single sulfate ion. So it will be like 3 into 6.02 10 raised to the power 23. So it will be 3 6 18.06 10 raised to the power 23. And if you want to write it in raised to the power 24, so it will be like this. Right, bacho?
Right, sir.
Anything else that you are having confusion on that? Leave it.
इसमें हमने मल्टीप्लाई बाय 4 क्यों नहीं किया?
4 से मल्टीप्लाई क्यों करेंगे? 4 का है सल्फेट एक पूरा एक आयन, सल्फेट पूरा एक आयन।
ओके सर, तो सर हमें ये कैसे पता कि Na2 के 2 है, मतलब SO4 में भी तो एंड में 4 है।
यस, SO4 एक्चुअली बेटे एक मॉलिक्यूलर आयन है। SO4 ये पूरा एक मॉलिक्यूलर आयन है, लेकिन अगर सोडियम को देखें तो सोडियम इज ऑलवेज Na+1 बिकॉज ये मेटल है, अकेला है, राइट। A के साथ 2 नहीं आ सकता, ठीक है ना, यहाँ O के साथ 4, राइट। So Na2 का मतलब ये है we have 2 sodium ions. Sodium is a elemental ion, right? It is alone, and over here this is a molecular ion, 2 atoms together, or 5 atoms of 2 different elements together, right?
Yes sir.
Okay बच्चों, so we can solve some example, right?
सर इसमें क्या कहते हैं, जो नंबर ऑफ SO4 - 2 है, इसमें हमने मोल इनटू एवोगाड्रोस कांस्टेंट इनटू 1 क्यों किया है, एंड पे 1 क्यों आया?
Because we have only one sulfate ion in overall molecule.
ओके सर,
ठीक है, वो मैंने 1 इसलिए लिख दिया ताकि आपको बात समझ में आ जाए, अदरवाइज 1 लिखने की जरूरत
ओके सर।
जी
सर
बट
अगर SO4 ब्रैकेट में 2 लिखा होता तो हम 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं।
अगर SO4 के बाहर ब्रैकेट में 2 लिखा होता इस तरह, फॉर एग्जांपल 3 लिखा होता इस तरह, then you need to multiply it with 3, right? और इसको आप 2 से मल्टीप्लाई कराते हैं, right? So for example, you have 7.7 moles of this. To find out the number of ammonium ions over there, number of sulfate ions over there. For example, you have 0.65 moles of calcium nitrate. So find this one as well, the number of nitrate ions and number of calcium ions. And for example, you have 1.72 moles of copper 2 chloride. So find out the number of copper ions and chloride ions. Quickly बच्चों, ये 3 एग्जांपल करेंगे, हमारा क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, फॉर्मूला नंबर 4 is going to be added, right? चलें देखें जरा। For example बच्चों, if we discuss about all 4 formula that we talk about in the last few classes, last 8 classes. So बच्चों, if you remember, if the mass is given to you, you can find out the number of moles, right or not बच्चों?
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
And for this,
Yes, sir.
the formula is this, that moles can be find out by mass over MR, right?
Yes sir.
And
Yes,
if I ask to calculate mass from moles, so you can say that, sir, we can easily find out this by mass is actually find out when we multiply moles with MR, and over here in both the formula MR is constant, right? We can find out this from periodic table, right?
Yes sir.
Then bacho, for example, if I ask you to calculate volume of gases, right, from mole, so we know that we can find out volume in decimeter cube even by multiplying mole with 24, and we can even find out volume in centimeter cube by multiplying moles with 24,000, right bacho?
Yes sir.
And we can find moles as well from volume as well. If you want to find out moles from volume in decimeter cube, we can divide it by 24, or we can find out moles from volume in centimeter cube by dividing 24,000, right bacho?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Then bacho, for example, if we talk about the number of particles, so we know that if the number of particles are going to be identified, अगर हमें बोलना है कि हमें number of particles निकालने हैं, so what we need to do? Number of particles निकालने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं बच्चों? We need to multiply with constant value. What is that value बच्चों?
6.02 into 10 to the power
6.02.
23.
Yes, याद हो गई ना आप लोगों को ये value?
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
Yes
yes sir,
Yes sir.
चलें,
Yes,
तो
sir.
हमें क्या करना होता है बच्चों? If you want to find out number of particles, for example, and number of particles, we know that they can be number of atoms, they can be number of molecules, they can be number of ions, right? So if you want to find out these from moles, so what we need to do, number of particles can be find out when we multiply moles with Avogadro constant, right बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Same as it is, अगर मैं आपको number of particles दे दूं and I ask for the number of moles, so we can simply do what? Moles can be find out. You need to do what? Number of particles over Avogadro constant, right बच्चों?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now, what we have to do what? बच्चों, for example, if you remember, we have concentration. If we have concentration and volume, this is for liquid, right? So we can find out moles as well from this by the formula. Moles can be find out like concentration into volume. If the volume is in centimeter cube, so it should be divided by 1000. And if the volume is in decimeter cube, so it's simple, concentration into volume, right bacho?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
these
sir.
are the 4 different formula that you need to keep remember, right bacho?
Yes, sir.
So formula number 1, formula number 2, formula number 3, formula number 4. In exam, this formula is very common. This formula is very formal. It is very common. It is very common. These are very common formula, and I suggest you to talk about this one as well, because this is important for this time, because this one is new addition in the syllabus, right? So this one is new. You need to be vigilant and conscious about this one because it is important, right bacho?
Right, sir.
Yes, sir. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I am just going to form a question. ऐसा क्वेश्चन बना रहा हूं जिसमें चारों हम एक साथ ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं फॉर्मूले, ठीक है? चलें, अब देखें, मैं एक क्वेश्चन बना रहा हूं बच्चों, that for example HCl is reacting with calcium carbonate, right? In the next chapter, maybe acid and bases, you are going to learn that how can we form these equation by yourself, right? So right now abhi to main isko bana ke dikha deta hu aapko, and you are going to learn this soon, right? Don't worry about that, about this equation. So this is the balanced chemical equation, right? Whenever you talk about the calculation according to equation, it should be balanced, right? So for example, bachcho, I just want to give you 50 centimeter cube of HCl, 50 centimeter cube of 0.150 mole per decimeter cube HCl, right bacho? This is HCl solution that I gave you, right? Now what I'm asking from you, I am asking to calculate the mass of calcium chloride formed, right? This is the mass of calcium chloride formed, and over here I am asking that the volume of carbon dioxide produced in decimeter cube, and over here I'm asking about the number of atoms in water produced, right? Just look at over here, bacho. These are 4 different types of formula that we are going to connect over here in this question. Just look at over what you need to do. Just need to follow the 3 steps that are taught by the sauce, right? So keep remember the words of sauce. Number 1, moles. Number 2, relation. Number 3, required thing. Is that right, bacho?
Yes, sir.
तो
Yes,
सबसे पहले we are going to find out what the mass of calcium chloride. We are going to find out the mass of calcium chloride. So इसमें आपने 3 steps follow करने हैं. Number 1, moles. So what is given to you? It is given to you the concentration and the volume of HCl. So you can find out concentration into volume, and the volume is in centimeter cube. So we need to divide it by 1000, right, bacho? So it will be 0.150 into 50 divided by 1000, right? What are the number of moles, बच्चों? Just find out the number of moles. These are
0.0075.
0.0075,
0075.
right? यही बने?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me confirm myself first. It is 50 divided by 1000 into 0.150. Yes, absolutely right. बच्चों आप लोग बिल्कुल ठीक कह रहे हो. The number of moles are absolutely like this. सही है. अब पहले आ गया moles. Then we need to apply what, बच्चों? Relation. I told you relation कैसे लगता है? Relation is always given and required. Given और required के दरमियान relation लगता है बच्चों हमेशा. Given क्या है आपको? Given is HCl to you, and what is required from you? Calcium chloride is required. ठीक है ना? अब इक्वेशन में देख लें आपको क्या गिवन है. आपको HCl का अमाउंट गिवन है कि भाई इतना इतना HCl है, और आपसे पूछा क्या जा रहा है? कैल्शियम क्लोराइड पूछा जा रहा है आपसे ना. तो दिस इज व्हाट गिवन एंड रिक्वायर्ड मीन. फिर सबसे पहले आप इक्वेशन के अकॉर्डिंग रिलेशन लगाते हो. अकॉर्डिंग टू इक्वेशन आपसे कह रही है दैट अगर 2 HCl होंगे तो कैल्शियम क्लोराइड 1 बनेगा. इज दैट राइट बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
इक्वेशन कह रही है कि अगर आपके पास 2 HCl होंगे तो एक कैल्शियम क्लोराइड बनेगा. एंड व्हाट इज रिक्वायर्ड, व्हाट इज कंडीशन फॉर अस, वी नीड टू फाइंड आउट कि यार अगर 0.0075 मोल्स होंगे तो कितना कैल्शियम क्लोराइड बनेगा, राइट? So it will be cross multiply over there, so it will be 2x is equals to 0.0075, and if you want to find out x, so it will be 0.0075 over 2. तो आपको ये बता रहा है कि अगर आपके पास 2 मोल HCl होंगे तो आपके पास कितने मोल बनेंगे कैल्शियम क्लोराइड के? आपके पास बनेंगे 1 मोल. तो अगर आपके पास 0.0075 मोल्स होंगे तो आपके पास कैल्शियम क्लोराइड के कितने मोल्स बनेंगे बच्चों? कैल्शियम क्लोराइड के मोल्स बनेंगे आपके पास, इट इज 0.00375, right बच्चों?
Right, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And now the third thing is which is mass. बच्चों we already know that आपको मास निकालने का फॉर्मूला क्या है? मास निकलता है मोल्स इनटू mr से. बच्चों हमें मास किसका निकालना है? मास हमें निकालना है कैल्शियम क्लोराइड का. मास जब कैल्शियम क्लोराइड के निकालना है तो मोल्स भी किसके लगेंगे? कैल्शियम क्लोराइड के. और mr भी किसका लगेगा? कैल्शियम क्लोराइड का. जस्ट लुक एट ओवर हियर, कैल्शियम इज 40 and chlorine is 35.5, and we have 2 chlorine, so it will be 71 plus 40, it will be 111, right bacho?
Right, sir.
So what will be the mass that we are going to have in any experiment like this? So we will have 0.416 grams, right bacho?
Right, sir. बिल्कुल.
Right, sir.
अब देखो ये इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, अगर आप किसी इंडस्ट्री में जाओगे ना तो आप किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में जाके खड़े खड़े जो है ना कैलकुलेशन करके बता दोगे कि इतना मास बनेगा सर. ठीक है?
जी
It is
सर.
very important. Now let's talk about the second requirement. Second requirement is what? This is volume of carbon dioxide in decimeter cube. Now it is again remains same. Now we already identify the number of moles that are given. Moles are actually 0.005, and now we start with relation. अब relation किसका लगेगा बच्चों? अब relation लगेगा we have HCl and we need to find out carbon dioxide, right? So HCl is 2 and carbon dioxide is 1 in the equation. So again, the relation will remain same, which is 0.0075, or x आपके पास relation लगेगा same. X will be 0.00375. These are what? These are moles of carbon dioxide as well, right? And we know that
Right.
if you want to find out volume, the third thing is volume, and we need to find out in decimeter cube. So we just need to multiply moles with 24, right, bacho? So what you need to do, you need to multiply 0.00375 with 24. You will have what, bacho? You will have 0.00375 into 24. You will have 0.09 decimeter cube volume, right, bacho?
Right, sir.
Then the third thing is what? We need to find out number of atoms. We need to find out number of atom. Again, The moles of HCl's are same. We already find it out, 0.0075. And relation is same. So moles of water is also same, which is 0.00375. What we need to find out, सबसे पहले हम निकालेंगे number of molecules. पानी है तो पहले molecules निकलेंगे. So number of molecules will be moles into Avogadro constant. And if you want to find out number of atoms in a single step, so we can simply what we know that water के अंदर 3 atoms हैं. So moles into Avogadro constant into 3. So each water molecule having 3 atoms, 2 hydrogen के और 1 oxygen का. So it will be 0.00375 into 3 into 6.02. So it is giving you what? 0.067 10 raised to the power 23 number of atoms. Right, बच्चों? Or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Right. बिल्कुल.
Just look at over here कि मैंने एक
Sir?
क्वेश्चन में सब कुछ दे दिया आपको और सब कुछ निकलवा दिया आपसे. ठीक है जी, पूछें क्या
जी, sir.
पूछना चाह रहे हैं.
ये 3 आपने H2 का 2 और O का 1 लेके add
जस्ट बेटे एक मॉलिक्यूल में 3 एटम्स है ना, इसलिए मैंने लिखा है.
सर ये
ठीक
जो
है?
नंबर ऑफ एटम्स है उसमें जो मोल लिखा है दूसरे नंबर पे H2O के मोल्स है.
जी, H2O के अंदर नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स निकालने हैं ना, हमें नंबर ऑफ एटम्स निकालने हैं इस वजह से.
पहला मोल है HCl का, दूसरा मोल किसका है?
H2O का है ना, हमें H2O के अंदर नंबर ऑफ एटम्स निकालने ना, इसलिए हमें रिलेशन लगा के H2 के मोल्स निकालने. जैसे सबके रिलेशन आया सेम, H2 का रिलेशन भी सेम है, इस वजह से सेम मोल्स आएंगे.
ओके सर.
ठीक है बच्चों, मैं एक क्वेश्चन दूं, आप लोग करेंगे?
यस सर.
Okay, so over here बच्चों we have what? We have for example we have HNO3 reacting with ammonium carbonate, right? Ammonium carbonate. So it will form what? Ammonium nitrate, carbon dioxide and water, right? This will be the reaction. अब इसको बैलेंस करना सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. So I am writing 2 over here. हमारे पास 2 अल्मोनियम हो गए. And if you see, so we have 2 3 the 6 nitrate, so it will be 6 3 3. So it is balanced now, right? So for example बच्चों, I am giving you what? I am giving you 75 centimeter cube of 0.2 mole per decimeter cube HNO3 to all of you बच्चों. I just want कि आप लोग इसका मास निकालें, इसका वॉल्यूम आप डेसीमीटर क्यूब में निकालें और इसके नंबर ऑफ एटम्स निकालें. ठीक है बच्चों, निकाल लेंगे. And this will be the sample equation for you, but ये sample work मैंने आपको ऊपर दिखा दिया, आप उससे देख लीजिएगा. ठीक है, just let me stop the recording.